Atlanta News First reporter Mary Kate Hamilton live this morning at Piedmont Park, where a protest is planned this afternoon after we saw demonstrations yesterday. Mary Kate, good morning.
Good morning, Megan. Elation, relief, and outrage. We've really seen it all across Metro Atlanta in response to the Trump administration's actions in Venezuela. We went to a Venezuelan restaurant in Alpharetta yesterday where they said it was a day of celebration. The owner left Venezuela 9 years ago and said life under Maduro was intolerable. A customer took his mission trip to Venezuela. Now he says he has hope that he can one day take his family back to visit the country he grew to love. Meanwhile, protests are popping up all across Metro Atlanta, standing against President Trump's decision. Some say they worry about the unrest in the region that could follow. We spoke with a United States Army veteran who calls the president's actions an unjust use of force.
War should always be an absolute last result. I mean, I'm not a total pacifist. I think that there are reasons to fight, but you can't just use it for every problem as a solution. And they're playing it off that, oh, this isn't a war. This isn't, we just need to do this to save Americans from drugs.
Another one of those protests is planned for noon today here at Piedmont Park. They're calling it the March Against Venezuelan Occupation. For now, live at Piedmont Park, Mary Kate Hamilton, Atlanta News First.
All right, Mary Kate, thank you. And much like people across Metro Atlanta, Georgia's lawmakers also have mixed reactions. Democratic U.S. Senator Raphael Warnock released a statement after the attack in President Trump's news conference, saying he is thankful no service members were injured, but also writes in part, Americans do not want U.S. troops involved in yet another endless war or their government running another government. Yet that is what Donald Trump, who as a candidate promised to get us out of foreign wars, has announced. Senator Warnock goes on to say the Trump administration owes the American people answers justifying this attack and explaining how the United States will run Venezuela. Republican Congressman Buddy Carter wrote in part, Nicolas Maduro, an illegitimate leader, and his wife will now face American justice for narco-terrorism, sending drugs into our country and killing our children. This indictment is just the beginning.